Good evening, everybody. My name is Ayoleke Ogunkoya, and my presentation on Management 545 assignment is on Pfizer Inc. Strategic Management and Competitive Globalization course. So I worked on Pfizer over this period of this course, and I'll be doing a short presentation on it. Overview. So these are just some of the topics that I'll be going through in this presentation. Five force analysis, the VRIO framework and analysis, costs, leadership and product differentiation, vertical integration and diversification, merger, acquisition, and joint ventures. Then I will also be wrapping up with owner roles and responsibilities. Obviously, I didn't list my reference page here. So my executive summary: Pfizer has shown itself to be a well organized and world class pharmaceutical company with over 172 years of market experience. And obviously, it is a force to reckon with in this industry, pharmaceutical industry. Through its corporate governance, excellent strategic decision making, and obviously the way capital allocation is being done, and I mean in that sense, corporate capital allocation. Five force analysis. We're looking at five factors: competitive rivalry, supply power, buyer power, threat of substitution, and a threat of new entry. Obviously, Pfizer is a leader of the pack. So basically, there are over, I guess, probably a couple of thousands of pharmaceutical companies around the world. And Pfizer, as we all know, is a well positioned one, and it's top five in the world. Funny enough, when I was about selecting a company for this course and for my assignments, I never knew where the course was heading. For whatever, I think it was a kind of a random pick for me that I picked Pfizer Pharmaceuticals, and obviously there are no regrets that I did because I learned a lot and it was more of an eye opener. So going forward, supply power. So Pfizer has a robust supply vendor and not threatened by the supply power because of the economies of scale, which it uses as a buyer power to scale down the prices of goods supply or raw material supply for production. Threat of substitution. In terms of product substitution, that's always there. Like I read about Viagra in recent years. I think, I'm not sure what year it was, but I think it was 2018 that a fake Viagra, they call blue pills, came out and almost dominated the market. And it was a good thing that Pfizer got hold of that, and they were able to address that immediately. Yes, so it's lost its patent application on that, and now the other players in the market in that area of health need. Threats of new entry. That's no threat to Pfizer, obviously. If you are top five amongst a couple of thousands of companies, I think you have a good hold, and more so with 172 years of experience. I guess no one can kind of beat that. VRI framework and analysis. Basically, for Pfizer, is Pfizer valuable in terms of its capacity and its capability? Or it's 100% yes. Reality. Um, it's a big yes. Imitability. Can most of its product or its resources be imitated? Yes, and because of that, it keeps it ahead. It keeps the company on guard to make sure they're on top of their game. And is Pfizer organized? It's 110% yes. Pfizer have sustained competitive advantage over its rivals over years, and that's why it's still in business after 172 years of getting into the business. Cost leadership and product differentiation. Pfizer uses its economies of scale, I said that earlier on, to leverage its supply chain cost. Pfizer lowers cost of production, and obviously that translates to product pricing in the market. It also uses not just from productive performance strategy. It's not only using the low cost of production, but also using it to control the product quality. And obviously, as we all know, pharmaceutical industry is highly regulated anywhere in the world, and the regulation is mostly tied to quality assurance, which is second to none because of threat to life. If anything goes wrong with the quality of the pharmaceutical product, it could mean life loss. So it's highly regulated in that regards. Vertical integration and diversification. It integrates its supply into its business strategy, and obviously, when we're talking of business strategy, like we talked earlier on, we are looking at cost leadership, and we're also looking at product differentiation. So, in terms of diversification, Pfizer is highly diversified. So, there are key areas not limited to these six that I mentioned. So they are into vaccine. Obviously, we remember how famous they are with the COVID-19 vaccine, obviously. Oncology, so that's the treatment of development of, of drugs for the treatment of cancer, various type of cancers. Internal medicine, hospital supplies, so those are medical supplies. Maybe it could be IVs, things like that. Rare disease. So there are some uncommon diseases that they also have specialty in that area, inflammation and immunology. So renal issues and stuff like that. Inflammation of organs and tissues and all that stuff. So those are the key areas, and obviously it's more than that, but those are the top six that I picked and I focused on during my assignment. Owner roles and responsibility. So when we look at the stratification of roles and responsibility within an organization, it's broadly divided into three areas. So strategic roles, there's tactical roles, and the operational roles. So strategic roles, that's where you find your senior management, board of directors, and the likes cluster. Tactical roles, mid managers, mostly mid managers. They are involved in tactical roles, and that's where you can now have your senior managers as well. Other than the senior management, operational. So those are frontline. That's where the job gets done. So the owner in this case, I'll put it as the managers of the owners, because obviously we know that Pfizer is publicly traded company, and the executive committee amongst the six or seven committees that constitute the strategic team for Pfizer. The executive committee heads those other committees, and the chairperson, who happens to be the CEO of Pfizer in person of Albert. What's his last name? Albert Bola, I believe. So these are type of responsibilities that people at that level, CEOs and of publicly traded companies, they are more, their roles are more aligned with things like development and launching of new products, expansion of their market share, obviously, which translates to profitability for the company, corporate capital allocation, where does this money go, how much do we allocate to this division, and all that stuff. And because of the impact that technology usually will have on big organization, and in terms of rollout, so they're always abreast of this in terms of high level involvement. So basically that's my presentation. Oh, sorry, I still have acquisition, merger acquisition, and joint venture. So 2020 acquisition, Warner Lambert at the cost of $116 billion. Pfizer 2021 acquisitions, Arena Pharmaceuticals at 6.7 billion, Trillium Therapeutics at 2.26 billion. Um, and we're all familiar with the big joint venture between Pfizer and BioNTech. Actually, as a matter of fact, their relationship didn't start in 2020. It actually started in 2018 when Pfizer allocated about $425 million for mRNA flu vaccine research and development. And because of the success along the line and the outbreak of COVID-19, more energy was focused in mRNA COVID-19 vaccine at the cost of 748 million dollars in terms of investment in R&D. And obviously, it's no news that as of December 31st of 2021, Pfizer has already made possibly over 30 billion alliance sales in terms of alliance revenue generated through this joint venture. So it's extremely profitable for Pfizer. So just some of my references that I used in this presentation, and obviously, unfortunately, I can't take questions because it's just a recorded presentation. Thank you for your time and thank you for listening, and have a great evening. Bye for now.